All right, now the Karnataka High Court had taken up the matter. This was the fourth day of the hearing on the hijab matter, whether or not hijab must be allowed inside classrooms or not. Here's some big news that we are currently tracking as the Karnataka High Court deliberates on the issue. Petitioner there submits before court saying that the government, Karnataka government's hijab order is draconian. Petitioner further saying that the government order doesn't mention any other religious symbols, why only single out the hijab? Petitioner further saying that classrooms should reflect India's diversity. These are points that have been made by the petitioner. I'm going to quickly cut across to Nolan Pinto. Nolan, we understand that the entire hearing has now come to an end. It's again now moved to tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. But a quick word in a nutshell on the deliberations today.
Nabila, two senior advocates actually gave their submissions today. One was Professor Ravi Verma Kumar and also another advocate, senior advocate Muchalla from Bombay or Mumbai. Now, basically, the main points that Professor Ravi Verma Kumar focused on was on the validity of the CDC, the College Development Committee. He says that it is constituted by a circular of in 2014. It's not even an order. And to quote him, he says, this is a circular, not an order issued by the Undersecretary, not even an order in the name of the government. And there was also an issue which took place questioning the role of the MLA being a part of the CDC. He says it consists of the MLAs. Can an MLA be treated as subordinate to the government? He says in the constitution, it is the representative of peoples who hold the government accountable. The hallmark of our democracy is holding the government accountable by elected representatives. How can they be regarded as subordinate to the government? So these are the issues he focused on. And thereafter, an advocate from Mumbai, sitting in Mumbai, basically intervened. Advocate Muchalla, he came out with important issues stating, and he used the term basically that this is arbitrariness on part of the government, the government order. When the High Court asked him, was any headgear part of the uniform, he made one important point. He said they are only putting one apron over their head. When we say uniform, we cannot strictly confine to a dress code. What was the practice adopted at school has to be seen. It has been changed without notice. So this is what he actually basically focused on. So as of now, the court hearing will take place again or resume at 2:30.
And of course, as we continue tracking this story, Nolan, what's really upsetting is the kind of fallout this interim judgment of the Karnataka High Court has had. It seems like a lot of institutions, government-run institutions across Karnataka are still confused whether or not to allow girls in hijab inside classes. Earlier, several institutions allowed, but now with the High Court's interim order, it seems like they've all backed off, not wanting to wade into a controversy by allowing these girls with hijab inside. So earlier they were allowing, now they're being stopped at the gates. And it's the innocent girls who are being sent back home. The other ones who are being used as pawns for whatever political gains that some people are trying to push through this controversy. Now we know that several pre-university colleges witnessed quite some frayed nerves today as colleges opened up across Karnataka. Heated arguments were witnessed. High drama was witnessed after opening up of colleges after a week of this controversy that has grown in the state. Dispute now was witnessed in several institutions right outside. Karnataka High Court ordered, the orders there of the Karnataka High Court resulted in a lot of standoff and arguments between parents, the school management, the teachers, all of them very confused as to what to do. Here we're looking at, in the meantime, in a major India Today impact, we saw a Popular Front of India's poster that was pasted right outside a Shivamogga government Urdu school, which called for celebrating the PFI day and calling for unity among Muslims to try and push back and, of course, fight for their right to wear hijab, etc. This poster was pasted right outside a government institution. And that was shameful, undoubtedly. We're looking at political push here by the PFI. And after the India Today coverage, it seems like that poster has now been pulled down.
Multiple colleges in Karnataka saw a repeat of scenes which have exposed the deep divide over hijab. Many colleges imposed the High Court mandated uniform for students, which bars donning hijab and saffron scarves. Only to witness serious backlash from students in hijab and adamant parents.
This is not rules. What they are doing there?
What are they telling you?
They are telling that don't wear hijab and burqa. What it means?
Earlier you could come with a hijab inside. Earlier were they allowing you to wear?
Yes.
She said that we are not coming over here to do anything wrong. We're just students. The college allowed us, gave us permission to wear a hijab. So why are they stopping us now? The authorities, in fact, what they tell us is that considering what really happened in the past few days, where girls were allowed to wear their hijab inside, and then you had boys wearing the saffron shawl, the institution did not want or does not want to take any sort of chances. And that's one of the reasons why they're not allowing them to wear any sort of religious attire, that is a hijab.
In Vijaypura, the arguments turned even more heated.
Court order very clearly says we make it clear that this order is confined to such institutions wherein the college development committee have prescribed the student dress code uniform. If you have allowed, how are you not allowing now? What is it? What is this?
No.
If you have allowed before, why is it different? If you are allowing now, how is it different?
ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿ ಆಯ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ
ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿ. Do you think the future of these students are not hampered? Isn't the future of these students not hampered?
Allahu Akbar became a rallying cry for these students in Tumakuru. Students in hijab resorting to sloganeering in Chikamagaluru to back their right to don the Islamic head covering. But many in hijab were turned away. In Hubali, parents confronted cops after their children in hijab were stopped from entering school. India Today also uncovered a PFI link to some of the protests. A PFI poster rallying students for the hijab stir was removed after our report. With Nabila Jamal in Udupi and Nolan Pinto in Shivamoga, Bureau Report, India Today.
All right, I'm going to quickly cut across to our panelists joining us to give us perspectives on this raging issue in Karnataka, which seems to have resonated across India. We have Fatima Usman, who is the state committee member of the Campus Front of India, who's a student wing of the PFI, and they've been fully outrightly backing these petitioners, the Udupi petitioners. I also have Mohan Krishna, who's a spokesperson of BJP, joining us with me. We also have Amrit Shenoy, the president of Sahabalve and Udupi Peace Committee. Also Seher, a teacher from Bengaluru, to give us an insight into how important is hijab, etc. Now, I'm going to start off with Fatima Usman. Fatima, in fact, the Campus Front of India has been blamed entirely for trying to create communal tensions, to push these girls to such an extent where we're looking at communal tensions in the entire coastal belt, repercussions of which we've seen across Karnataka. Because of 6 girls, we're seeing Muslim girls in the entire state now having to face such kind of trouble.
Firstly, I want to say the thing happening in Karnataka is clearly the violation of fundamental rights. The 6 students that they asked for their rights, and they are just asking for their rights. The conspiracy behind this is done by the MLA Raghupati Bhatt and the Yashpal Suvarna, and this has nothing to do with the 6 students. And one more thing, this has to be clear: the present in Karnataka, the happening in the HD order copy, it clearly says that the this order is confined to such of institution where the college development committee have prescribed this student dress code or uniform. But now the but now the authority administrative management committee or the college administrative authorities or the lecturers are misusing the this interim order law, and they are trying to deny the students from getting education just because they are misguiding the students by saying that these are the laws that given by the HC, and it has if a student wants to wear hijab, and it is her fundamental right and it is her individual right. It has nothing to do with the students in across the state. In more than 20 colleges,
Students' rights, it's the student rights. What does the PFI have to do? What does the PFI have to do with this entire agitation? If it is a student right, if it is the student agitation, Campus Front of India, which is of course a student wing of the PFI, the Popular Front of India, radical Islamist outfit, what does that have to do with this agitation?
As a responsible citizen of the country, if a student, the students approached us with the saying that they are denying from education because they wear hijab, but now we just supported them with the sense of responsibility and with the sense of as a responsible citizen of the country and a responsible student organization of this country, we have to address this to the nation, and we have to give the justice to the students who are denied from getting education. It is the responsibility of every single citizen of this country.
You know, I just want to quickly cut across to our BJP spokesperson who's joining us. Sir, here, Mr. Mohan Krishna, we are looking at the BJP constantly harping upon the fact that this is politically motivated. They're being backed by some outfits like the PFI or the STPI. But what about the BJP not giving out directions to these colleges and institutes which earlier allowed hijab but are now not allowing it, citing the High Court's order? High Court very clearly says that this interim order is only for institutions which already had preset guidelines. Those institutions which allowed for hijab earlier can continue doing so. It's only for those institutions which had guidelines that were set for strict uniformity. Why is there so much confusion? Why no SOPs in place as yet by the Karnataka government?
Good evening, Nabila. I think you must be enjoying, good to be well, but this is not the right time probably. I heard Fatima Usman talking about the students' rights, fundamental rights. I'm telling you from the day when I'm amused by the way in which this has been blown out of proportion by these 6 students without the backing of, do you think, without the backing of any PFI or Congress or anybody? Let me quote two, three things to you. Why this has come to this level first, and then I'll answer to your question. First thing is, when Siddaramaiah tweeted, after these 6 students started, he said it is their fundamental rights. Then UT Khadra spoke. Then Rahul Gandhi tweeted. Then Priyanka Gandhi spoke. Is it not politicized? They wanted to take advantage of the situation. I'm sorry. This was the only place, it was a holy place. Students' campus is a holy place for me. In this holy place, I don't know why these people are playing politics. This is very, very shameful. First thing. Second thing, coming to the point, the 6 students went to the High Court. It is not the government of Karnataka. It is not the BJP or any other organizations have gone to the court. In the court, they asked for an immediate disposal of the case first. Court said, we have to look into larger bench, and these are the history. The court gave the interim order. Don't you feel, Nabila, when you have gone to the court asking for your fundamental rights, is it not your fundamental duty then to bound to the High Court orders, what they say? Why you are doing all these dramas and everything in front of the schools? Let the students, or if somebody who has instigated this, let them call the meeting of all these people. If it has to end, it has to end from where it has started. Where it has started, from the 6 students. The 6 students should address to the students community, their parents, and who have backed them, who have instigated and prompted them. They should come out and speak truth and say that till such time, if it takes around a month, Do you think that the students should not go to the schools and colleges? Just because of 6 students, they have gone to the court. Just because of that, all the students have to lose their education? Let me give a data in which it says the most illiterate Muslim woman in India. Why it is so? Why it is so? Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji started Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan.
If you are done with the point, I'd like to come in on this. Can I interrupt you? I mean, I don't want to stop you, but you said what you said. But I'd like to ask you, are you really surprised? Are you really surprised by the Congress party trying to jump in and using this as ammunition to charge as the BJP government? Are you really surprised that Rahul Gandhi or Priyanka Gandhi and whoever it is of the Congress party are going to be attacking the BJP over this kind of commotion in your state? This is what the opposition usually does in every state, but I'm not even asking you on those lines. What I'm asking you here is who's going to protect the innocent girls who are right now on the streets, who have been sent out as a fallout of the government's ban on hijab in one institution. This has now had a ripple effect across. Why no SOPs in place? Why no direction to these colleges that you don't need to follow those directions as per the High Court if you've already been allowing girls with the hijab? The court's order, sir, if you've read it multiple times, I would say very clearly says it only is directed to institutions which did not allow hijab in the past. Why are institutions which allowed hijab in the past now not allowing? Why have they taken a U-turn? Are they scared of anyone? What is going on there? Why no direction from your end?
See, there is no direction from our end. It is a High Court order says, keep the status quo, no religion, no symbol, no hijab or no saffron shawl or anything. Don't, bring in any religious practices into the school classrooms. That is what it says.
Right, I will read that to you, sir. I have the court's order. I will read that to you. The court says we restrain. The court says we restrain all students, regardless of their religion or faith, from wearing saffron shawls and connected matters like scarves, hijab, religious flags or the likes within classrooms. Yes, the court has said this. The court in the next paragraph has also said, we make it very clear that this order is confined to such of the institutions wherein the College Development Committee have prescribed the students' dress code and uniform already. Not to institutions that have not had a set uniform guideline in the past. So why are all institutions now jumping in to follow the same guideline?
No. You have not, see, either you have not seen the CDC guidelines, or the students have not read the CDC guidelines. Okay.
The CDC guidelines of which institution? CDC guidelines of which institution?
The institutions which are not allowing, I'm talking of them only.
That's what I'm saying, sir. That those. Sir, what I'm trying to say is those that were not allowing, there is no dispute. Girls cannot come with a hijab. There is no dispute. If they're coming with a hijab, they must go back if they're insisting. There's no dispute there. The dispute is those institutions that allowed for hijab. That's where the dispute lies. You have thousands of girls, young, small, innocent girls who are being sent back, who are crying, who are breaking down, who have nobody to come to their aid at this point. No security for them. Section 144 has been imposed outside, but these girls are being sent back home, crying, breaking down, walking home all the way back alone. Is there any security for them? Would you like to protect their rights? They are also your children.
No, Nabila ji, whatever you are saying, we are there with the students, but students should have behaved as a student. When they have become the masters, they have to go through this.
Sir, we agree. Sir, we agree that the PFI is backing the 6 petitioners. Sir, we agree that this is politically motivated with the 6 petitioners. They're being backed by the PFI. But why allow innocent girls to bear the brunt? Why can't you protect the innocent girls? That's the only question is, why are innocent girls on the road crying?
Miss Nabila, can you give 2 minutes?
Right. I'm going. Yeah, Fatima, please go on. What do you have to say on this? You know what, Fatima? The fact that this is backed by the PFI certainly seems like this has diluted the cause of many girls who have been fighting for their right. Do you think the PFI is trying to gain political ground in the Udupi-Mangaluru coastal region, which is why there seems to be some kind of push from the PFI extensively to try and assert your presence? Isn't that
I want to clearly
that
say- I
wrong
want
to use
clearly
these
say
students
the
as a
people who are
political
playing
pawn?
the students' life, it is BJP and the artists. This, when MLA Raghupati given a statement about the students and Yashpal Suvarna, what about Pratap Simha? They given the statement. They given the statement against those students
Nabila,
who
this
are
is
fighting for
false.
the
This is
rights.
false.
This has to be.
Don't
This has to be. This has to be
don't
addressed.
make them
You
to
know
know.
when
Don't
you,
make them to sing a song like this. Don't make them to sing a song like this. This is not the way. This is what I'm saying.
When
Students should have
when
been
the
students.
BJP
Yes,
Karnataka
look at the way she is
official
talking.
page leaked
That
the
girl
personal
student.
information of
She
the
must be a
students,
student.
didn't you have the shame? Didn't you have the personal privacy? Didn't you have the personal privacy when the students' information is being leaked to the social media? This has to be addressed. The privacy and the right of the student is denied. Now you people are blaming the students who are telling that the people are starting the controversy. This controversy is started by the ABVP goons, clearly backed by the BJP RSS Sangha Parivar. This has to be addressed in the media. Why no media is showing this?
Fatima, this is you people went to the court. This is not ABVP has gone to the court. This is not BJP gone to the court.
Any other country, we have to go to the court. We have the right to ask
You know
the
what he said? When he called these 6 students, along with their parents, they should have accommodated this. They said that they used to come. Please listen, Fatima. You used to practice this earlier. Earlier, you used to practice by wearing hijab, going to the campus, and when you are entering the class, you used to remove and sit. Why you are doing so now? Why the fundamental
Who said
rights
so?
are gone?
Who said so? I am wearing the hijab inside the college too.
अचानक आप में आ गया फंडामेंटल राइट्स अचानक आ गया सिर्फ हिजाब के लिए फंडामेंटल राइट्स
Now the hijab became an
I'm
issue to you
requesting
also.
you.
The
Which
fundamental
word
right
I'm
is always
requesting
been
you.
with me. The
Concentrate
issue
on your
is now
studies.
for you people. It is
Concentrate on
the
your
issue.
studies.
Why the issue?
Not on all these issues.
Why the suddenly issue
Not on
became
all
an
these
issue?
issues.
But when the students were wearing the hijab, it was not an issue. Suddenly,
Leave the
why it
politics
became
to
an
the
issue?
people
You
who are
people are
doing
playing
politics.
vote bank politics.
Leave the
You people
politics
are
to the
playing
people
vote
who
bank
are doing
politics by
politics.
blaming the students'
Study.
life.
Last 2 years, you have lost your precious studies
right.
time because of COVID. Now you have to concentrate on your studies. Leave the politics to the
I
politicians.
know how to concentrate on my studies.
Don't
You
be a
have
politician.
to.
Be a
You
student.
Well, you know, I'm going to really put both of you on hold. Fatima and Mohan, I'd like to really interrupt here. I understand these emotions are raging. We are looking at really hardened opinions and hardened stands on both ends. On the institutions and the government end on one end, and of course the Muslim families, conservative families who insist and are adamant that they won't take off the hijab, and only if the hijab is allowed will they send their girls to school. And that's the worry here. We're going to be looking at a good number of dropouts at a time when examinations is just around the corner, 2 weeks away. This is the situation across schools in Karnataka, and that's very disappointing that these young girls, innocent girls, have become political pawns. It's very shameful that we're seeing a situation like this having to unfold in a state like Karnataka, which has been so appreciated so long for its stellar educational institutions, that we have to now see a communal divide in college and school level. Absolutely shameful. I'm going to quickly cut across to Seher, who's a teacher joining us. Seher herself was wearing the hijab at one point. She's taken the hijab off. That was her choice. Seher, I just want a perspective from you. How important was hijab for you when you took it up and then when you decided to take it off?
Yeah, Nabila. So firstly, I think it's so absurd that such a sensitive topic, such a personal topic has become, people are talking. I don't think people are actually hearing themselves when they're saying stuff like a girl should not wear a hijab or a girl should not wear a scarf. You're literally, it's actually vice versa. When you're telling someone that by wearing a hijab, you are being forced, what are you doing when you're asking a woman who has chosen to cover herself? It is her choice to cover herself. You feel like she should not cover herself. So why are you putting on top of her what you feel is right? Right? Now, when a student comes to school, it's very, very important that they come to school as themselves. You cannot expect someone to walk into school without their identity. Now, we all know that hijab, yes, is a very, very important part of the Islamic religion. But more than that, it is also a very important part of a woman's identity. A woman that chooses to wear hijab, that is her identity. She does not want to show her hair or her beauty to other people. You cannot force her. How can you tell a woman that, no, you have to show me your hair or you have to show me how beautiful you are? Like, do people even hear themselves when they're speaking, when they're talking about this topic? I feel like this topic should have, the people who are harassing girls should have been they should have been arrested the day it happened. How can you force anyone or any woman to show a body part that she does not want to reveal? If tomorrow someone tells a man, oh, we think the pants are very, very dangerous, please walk on the road without a pant. Will you walk on the road without a pant? Why? Because for you, that is important.
With due respect to you, the Muslim community, Muslim in that religion, there is no, I mean,
Okay.
people are debating.
Of an institution. Please let me say, when it comes to
Just hold on. Mr. Mohan has a point to make. Seher, if you can hear him out. Mr. Mohan, yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, Muslim religion, there is a division in this issue of hijab. It is not a compulsory. It is not a compulsory. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. This is said by the people who are debating today from past 10, 15 days. I'm going to all the debates. I'm watching everybody, what they talk, how they talk, and this is what they're saying. Most of the 50% of the people, they say it is not compulsory. Then why not force it?
Hijab is not an essential Islamic practice. Then why cry over it to this point? Seher, is hijab an essential Islamic practice? How would you look at this?
Talking about Nabila, that's exactly where I'm getting. I don't understand why we're making this a religious issue. If a Muslim woman wants to cover her head, she should be allowed to cover her head as a fundamental right of a woman. Okay? Take away the whole Islamic factor. Take away the whole Muslim factor. A woman that wants to cover a particular part of her body for whatever reason should be allowed to do so. That is what I'm trying to tell you. I don't even want to get to the religious aspect right now. So many professions in the world, internationally, let it be an air hostess, let it be a doctor, let it be a nurse, let it be so many members of parliament abroad, locally, are allowed to wear hijab. Why? Because people recognize it as a fundamental right of a woman. If she wants to cover herself, she should be allowed to cover herself. That's what I'm saying.
Nabila, just
like
give me
Mr.
10 seconds.
Yes.
Nabila, just give me 10 seconds. I will not take much.
Yes, sir. Please go on, Mr. Right.
Yeah, I would like to remind Sahara that we are not discussing about hijab ban. It is only in uniform. Should they come with hijab or should they be like other students alone? That's all.
Yes,
Sahara, we are not, we know that. We don't
Exactly.
want to interfere or intervene in religious matters of other communities, other religion. We know that very well. We know that very well.
Yes. Yes.
Don't
now
give lecture.
Get to the point, Mr.
Don't
Mohan,
give
that
lecture about why the hijab has been it is in practice. We know that. But what we are discussing today is, should the hijab be in uniform?
Yes, which is where I'm getting that. Why not? Why not?
The purpose and definition of uniform will be defeated. It will be defeated.
Yes, Mr. Mohan, that's what I'm trying to ask you. An institution that had previously allowed the hijab, why have they all of a sudden woken up one morning and said, no, we cannot wear a hijab? There needs to be a reasoning behind
something. Up one morning. Right? It has come to these political people, PFI, CFI people. They started this with 6 students. Look at Sahara. We are talking. You are discussing. We are debating. So look at this. These 6 students, along with the parents, with the college committee.
I'd like to ask Seher, sir, Mr. Mohan, just a moment, a quick word from Seher on this. Seher, the girls have been increasingly chanting Allahu Akbar. That's almost been seen as almost a war cry as they come out on the streets where they've been sent out of classes. They've been chanting Allahu Akbar. A lot of people looking at it as some kind of threat. That this is dangerous for them to be chanting Allahu Akbar.
Yes. I also saw actually a video of that, and
how would you look at that? What is Allahu Akbar?
I see. Basically, Allahu Akbar means Allah is great, right? And I actually did see the interview of one of the girls when she was asked why she's chanting so and so. She said, I was extremely scared and there was absolutely no one to come to protect me. So the only one I turned to was God, which is Allahu Akbar, which is okay, because if it's a Christian, when a Christian's in stress, they remember Jesus. When it's a Hindu, they remember their God. Similarly, she said Allahu Akbar. Yes, I think it should not have been done so aggressively on the road and shouting, but I also think that it's a reaction. Now, come on, you're one girl, you have so many people hounding you, shouting at you. You're obviously extremely scared. So you will react in some way or the other, especially when you have absolutely nobody around you helping you. That was probably just the reaction she did. And obviously that rubbed on everybody that's around her. Exactly how that one guy... Sorry? Hello?
Right, I heard you. I heard what you have to say. But Seher, stay with us. Stay with us, Seher. I'm going to quickly cut across to Fatima. Fatima, right now, the entire agitation by these girls has been discredited. It's been completely maligned only because the PFI and the SDPI is trying to gain political mileage, and it's now becoming evidently clear. Would you believe that you stepping out of this would only help the cause of the girls if they really have a legit reason here? Do you think that involving a political party here is just going to dilute this entire cause that many of these girls today are fighting for?
And I don't know where you got this stand. The thing, we are fighting for the right of the students. And one more thing, when the stones are thrown to this institution, that time it was not in a holy place. It wasn't in a holy place, Mohan. The BJP spokesperson, I want to ask, it wasn't in a holy place. You were, when the students were throwing the stones to the institution that they were learning from, and when defaming the flag stuff by hosting Bhagavad, it wasn't in a holy place. The thing you are trying to cover up the ABVP goons, conspiracy fighters come with the 6 students, and you have to say the students' right is being denied, and they're not getting the education
All right. I'm going to quickly pause you. All right, I'm going to pause you. Apologies. I'm going to cut across to Tahir. Tahir is the petitioner for the Udupi girls, the 6 girls who are now the poster girls for this entire hijab agitation. Tahir has been representing these girls. Tahir, today we heard in court again a lot of deliberation about how no other religious symbol is being opposed except for the hijab. Why only the hijab is opposed? This is religious discrimination. That's what we heard as one of the petitioners say. But again, Tahir, I'd like to ask you on the political backlash on this. There's a lot of talk that this is fully politically motivated, and that's really diluting the cause of these girls altogether.
See, basically, I tell you, very specifically, I'm telling you. See, this is yesterday also I told you, whenever you want to target something or somebody, first you have to discredit them. This is the toolkit of a BJP or Sangh Parivar, or you can say the communal forces. So this is their toolkit. Even they will say something tomorrow about me, they will say something about tomorrow against somebody. So it's a toolkit, you have to accept this. Okay, fine. Now let me make out a couple of points today which has happened in the court. See, our constitution as well as our legislation is based on the diversity. And diversity is the theme of our constitution. What they want to do is they want to just target and they want to exclude. And this is not the first instance. See, regularly it's happened. And why they had made this issue? You are aware that South area is the one.
Students. He is representing that organizations. He is representing that organization. He is not for the students. In the application, he might be for the students. Look at today also they have put another 2 applications seeking adjournment and all
Tahir,
these
that
things.
question is straight to you, Mr. Mohan, insisting that you're doing this for political vendetta, political mileage and some kind of relevance for the PFI.
I don't mind it all. Whichever way you want to say. Let me hear out. Then after whatever you want to say. Today I file application. That earlier I file application. That everything is on the record.
All right, go on.
We are before the court. We are not doing something underground. Please understand that. Just Nabila, you are aware that you are from Karnataka. You are aware that from where the people got this saffron scarf. This is the conspiracy. We already saw that how it's being done. See, this is their methodology. This is their methodology. They keep on using every time. This is their methodology. This is their methodology. Every time they're applying. People, they say they come from this place, they have this connection, they have that connection, you do this, they belong to this. See, they belong to what everybody is aware. Everybody is aware, they already exposed. They already exposed. So there is no point of, they're not.
Right, one after the other, it's very... Mr. Mohan, I'm going to come to you, Tahir, please make your point. A quick word, Tahir.
Yes,
Tahir, you know, as much as we say that these girls are fighting for a cause, a larger cause, that girls must be allowed to wear hijab inside if they feel so.
I really don't
the fact that one of the petitioners has filed a petition asking for the verdict to be withheld until the 5-state elections is over. A lot of questions raised on what do girls have to do with the elections.
No application was filed to stop the hearing. Just understand that there was a reason. It was all the application which we filed before the court. We have not filed anywhere else. That filed before the court. We had given a reason
that you withdraw
without even reading the reason, without understanding the reason. If somebody will speak anything, I can't take it. They understand.
No, but why are the girls asking for the verdict to be withheld until 5-state elections are over?
Madam, have you seen that application? Don't try to promote their propaganda.
What does it say?
Please don't do that. Please don't do that. Please understand that. Yesterday also I told you.
Clarify for us. Clarify for us. All right, clarify for us.
At first instance, I moved to application. First application was some clarification, some concession for the girls against the interim order arranged, which was against the not interim order, but interim arrangement which was made by the court. Okay. Then the second application, which is a contentious issue in the media, is that I specifically stated that our community, our country is already divided so much because of the political agenda, and there is in 6 states. Please, brother, you let me. Otherwise, I will not say anything.
We show unity in diversity. You forget the unity.
All right. Tahir, complete your point. A quick word. Right.
I can't join. I don't
right,
want
Mr.
to be part
Mohan, I've got to put you on hold. A quick word as I wrap here. I'll take that. Tahir, a quick word. Complete your sentence. All right. Well, it is, of course, heated emotions. Overwhelmingly, we're looking at girls coming out of their institutions because they're not being allowed to wear the hijab inside classes. And that's what we're worried of. Mr. Mohan, if you're hearing me, the only request that young, innocent girls across Karnataka is making is that please issue a direction to all your schools and colleges which earlier allowed for hijab, where schools allowed for hijab to be worn inside class. Let them continue to do so. If not, we're looking at these girls out of nowhere, all of a sudden, been asked to take off their hijab inside classrooms. They're not comfortable with it. Respect these girls. The fact that they've worn the hijab for so many years, let the court's verdict come out, and then the rest of that can be looked into. But for now, please respect the fact that these girls are coming to school. Allow them in. Don't send them back home, because they have really nothing to do with dirty politics. And that's a request that the Karnataka government puts SOPs in place and sends out directions to all these colleges that are currently confused or don't know what to do. Thank you very much, all our guests and our panelists, for joining us. The Karnataka High Court is going to be taking up the hearing at 2:30 p.m. tomorrow. We're going to continue tracking all these developments. But for now, thank you for watching.